Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 10 of the Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast. Your panel today are as follows: John, Dan, Nick, and I'm your host, Wes. This is what we're discussing today. Let's do it. Take it away, Wes. So here we go, fellas, then. Apology from John. There's only 3 of us now rather than 4. I brought John in supposedly for this, but John can't even make it. So, I mean, come on, John. I don't know what's going on there. New kit's looking lovely. So we'll talk about them in a moment as well. Right, okay. So let's as we always do, let's have a look at the comments that came in from the last episode. That was Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast 9. All right, so there you go. Right, so do you know what? Harriers will see. If anyone knows him, he was straight in there. He said, "Thanks, Wes, and all. Keep up the good work. Memories of the blue-yellow kit." He didn't mean this one, but I think blue and yellow suits Harriers, right? Anyone else? Anyone else think that?
Yeah, I quite like blue and yellow as the away kit. I've got the old the blue with the yellow sort of tags on the arms. I know it's only like a little flashy yellow, but I still think it looks good. So I do like the blue and yellow.
A little flash, love that. Darren Rogers says Bo scored the only ever Football League hat-trick in the black kit. I got it from my mate's son. He still has it. Now, I didn't think I'd be so annoyed by people saying they've already got the kits that I wanted, but I really was. I was annoyed by that.
That was some hat trick as well that day. I think it was Leighton Orient at home on Boxing. Oh no, that would have been a home game actually. Not sure, but that one he did score in that Leighton Orient game at home, where I think he chipped the keeper for the third goal, was unbelievable. 2-0 down, and yeah, Bo just turned it on. But I think that's referring to a home game actually. What I'm on about, so I think that must have been an away one, which I don't recall, to be fair. Not sure when that would have been or who that was against.
Right, I'm sure someone will tell us straight away. As soon as this loads up, they'll tell us. So William Harris says, "Great podcast again, guys. Loving the new away kit, by the way." My thoughts on that on the way in a moment. Thank you, gents. This is Owen again. Thanks, Owen, mate. Great to have you on board once more. Also, big fan of the silver kit, because let's be honest, the silver kit's amazing. And there's 2 silver kits on eBay, right? And they're on Vinted as well. And I sent the guy because he wants £110, and I was like, no. So I went the lowest I could do, which was 66 quid. We ended up having a chat about it. I even sent him the goal that Danny Williams scored, wearing that kit. You know the goal, Nick, the free kick goal.
I know the goal. I was there. I was there.
Yeah, man. He says amazing. Also, the dark one invoked the memory of JJ Mulligan player, and it was Baldy Ian Arnold for that 1997 kit. Ian Arnold, anyone?
Before my time.
Yeah, a bit before me.
I was probably chasing girls, I think, at that point. Right. And Darren, here's Darren again. I have 2 of Bo's Lecoq home shorts. The one he scored 20 goals in. I don't think do you think he wore the same shorts? He probably did, actually, back in the day. And the one he scored against Mansfield opening day of the season. I have Danny Williams silver and Dean Bennett silver and black. Danny Williams black. Dude, this guy's got it all, man. He's got it all. And he made me jealous. So there you go.
I think it's cool. It's cool that he's got the shirts, but I think having the shorts is a bit weird. Don't you think?
No, I think he probably puts them on quite a lot, to be honest, Dan. I think you probably would as well, Dan.
As long as he's washed them, I guess.
Depends what you're into. If anyone's into that, put your comments in the below.
Please don't. Right. And of course, Dan was talking about this white kit that no one had ever seen before, and it turns out actually we had worn a white kit. It was an Admiral kit, right, Dan? I think.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, Admiral kit. So that was Nick, club commentator Nick Hatton. By the way, I used to be a club commentator as well back in the day. So there you go. Right, let me just load up what we're doing. Oh, by the way, Travis, I rang Travis and he's not there. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it either. So there we go. So, gentlemen, should we talk about fixtures? Fixtures first?
Sure.
What do you reckon? I'm going to stop the share and then get the fixture list up. But my initial thoughts are Hereford away again. I think it's a travesty because that's a proper moneymaker, Hereford away on Boxing Day. And it's them again. It's at their house again. I don't understand. Nick, what's your thoughts on that, mate?
Yeah, similar to you, mate. I would have definitely preferred that one to be at home. I think selfishly because it means that there's less travel we've got family and stuff, so it's always nice to sort of spend Boxing Day in and around that, and also just to be local to the Harriers. Maybe get yourself up the Arms or the social club or a pub of your choice on Boxing Day is always quite nice. So that's a shame. That was one of the first things that I kind of looked at in the fixtures, similar to yourself, Wes. I think I mentioned on this podcast previously, Leamington was the one I wanted as the first kind of couple of games because there might be some grass on the pitch. That's our last game of the season away.
That's our last away.
Yeah,
Really?
so that I mean, I remember when Badger Army was at the club, we played them away last game of the season. So that seems to be thrown up quite regularly that game, and they're always a bit of a banana skin, Leamington. I don't know why they're always in my head. I've mentioned them so many times, but that's a little stumbling block. I think the first 10 games are interesting. Phil Brown always talks about, if you've got 2 points average over a season, you'll either win the league or be very, very, very close.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to sort of maybe have a target for the first 10 games of 20 points. I'd say the challenging run looks to be kind of Christmas time potentially. Got South Shields away, which I know we hammered them last season, but that's
the 6th. Yeah, I'm going to
then
that
we've got,
by the way.
Brilliant. Yeah, that'll be that we smashed them this season, but I think historically that can be a challenge. We've got Fylde, Hereford, Telford, Curzon, and Macclesfield all within that kind of Christmas run, which is always hectic. So those are my thoughts, fella.
Dan, what about you, mate? Because one thing I did notice, Merthyr, we play Merthyr twice on 2 Tuesday nights, which is just a joke. A joke.
Yeah.
At least it's even for the fans. There's an as.
Yeah, that's very true. I was kind of buoyed a bit by the fixtures. I thought the opening couple of potential banana skins, but other than the Leamington game, I was quite looking forward to the run-in, and I sort of feel like if we're in the position where we were in last season with those sort of last 4-5 games, I sort of feel like we're in with a really good shout. And if you look at the run-in last year, it was a lot tougher than what it looks kind of this year. So if we can get ourselves in the right place, then I sort of feel like we've got a real shout. I'm not as upset about the Hereford game as you guys, because I quite enjoyed Hereford over the Easter period last year. And that's, I believe, is that when the Hereford home game is? Is it? It's either Good Friday or it's certainly over that.
A Friday the 3rd,
so
Good Friday.
I think that could be worse. I don't mind that, and I do agree that it would be nice to sort of have the Boxing Day games, but we have to do one of them away. So I don't mind the fact that it's Hereford away on Boxing Day. I quite like the idea of Hereford on Good Friday in April, and it set up a really exciting sort of end to the season last year. So
it did. I think it's one of those, isn't it? It was just because it happened last year. We sort of battered them both times last season. So the memories that evokes, I guess you're kind of a little bit in the mindset of it doesn't really matter. But I think it was good that it was towards the end of the season. Agba in the sun was great, and so was Hereford that day, because we went to their place and did them over with arguably one of the best games of the season.
You remember the storm?
Yeah, I know.
What happened then?
I know.
They've got lights now, though, Hereford. So that's good, isn't it? I suppose. They can have choosing light games on again. I just want to point out to you guys as well, right? So you probably didn't notice this, but we're playing Spennymoor. That's northeastern, right? That's northern, right? On the Saturday the 7th, and then we're playing Darlington, northeastern. That's north again on the 14th. That's 2 northern games in a week. I think that's no. And then you've got Marine, and who else are we playing? Marine and South. Well, I don't know.
They're at home.
I just think the computer, the AI or whatever it did this, it came up with this again. I just think it's wrong in so many different levels. I really do. But if you got any thoughts on the games and also the games you're looking forward to the most, let us know, please. Please, just on the comments below. Do you know, actually, I'm looking forward to South Shields away on the 6th of December, only because I've got some friends who are going to join me for that. They live up there anyway, so that's going to be pretty cool.
The one thing with the fixtures, though, Wes, everyone has to play each other twice. Everyone has to play each other home and away. You can sometimes get a little bit into the detail with it, and I think the travel distance is a really valid point. But ultimately, I'm hoping that, and it looks that way. I'm sure we'll talk about it, but Adam is creating a squad that's capable of handling whatever comes at us. Because, like you say, you're going to play every team home and away. So we have to deal with it, don't we? And so does everyone else.
Yeah. I would have loved a Cardiff weekender for Merthyr though. That'd have been brilliant on
Oh,
Saturday. Oh, come on now. That'd been amazing. Last game of the season, South Shields at home. Yeah, I mean, what do you do? And then we've also got Kings Lynn as well. That could be a massive game, Kings Lynn,
Mm.
the third one. Because do you know what bookies have got as favourite actually to win the league? Kings Lynn, I think they're sixth. But what do they know? Well, they still got money, so I'm guessing they know an awful lot about it. So yeah. It is what it is, Nick. It's one of those things. It is what it is. Right,
It
okay.
is.
So, right, okay. So Billy, Billy in his spreadsheet. Remember Billy in his spreadsheet?
I saw this on
yeah.
Twitter. He's done such a good job of that.
He did. Billy said, he sent me a message. He said, ask the panel, which is you two tonight, thank you, and myself, players you're most looking forward to seeing in a Harriers shirt. Dan.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Adigan, isn't it, to start with? I think there's a bit of hype there. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm looking forward to seeing the young lad Walker and seeing, or Linford Christie or Usain Bolt as he's starting to get that reputation. But I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing what he can do. Adam Murray sort of seemed quite excited about that signing, so I'm looking forward to seeing him coming out on the pitch. Not just from the new lads, it's going to be great to see Penny back.
Yes.
There's been some really nice rumblings out of the club this week that he sounds like he's strong out on the pitch, and so yeah, really looking forward to sort of seeing him back in a Harriers shirt. Um, and also Joe Folks as well, because
Yeah.
what happened to Joe last season was awful, and it always concerns me when players have big injuries because it does get into your head. And I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing or hoping we get to see the same Joe that we saw the first half of last season, terrorizing people up that right wing. So those are my sort of players that I'm really looking forward to seeing out there.
Absolutely. I think we'll talk about him in a little bit. Willoughby as well. Willoughby and Mooney, to be fair, they've got. They've, it's not that they have to give something back to the club, but because they've turned us down a few times in the past,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that, Nick. How do you see that one?
Um, well, weirdly, I've bumped into Dan Mooney a couple of times over the last couple of weeks randomly in a coffee shop that I will not name. And he seems really enthusiastic about being at the club. Talked a lot about the training facilities and just, I don't know, his general demeanour was one of excitement. Obviously, I didn't ask him about why he's turned us down in the past, but he sort of gave us a view that he sort of gave me the view that it's circumstantial. We often, as fans and
Yeah.
emotional and passionate, forget that these lads are, relatively young lads and young men and have other priorities, families, jobs, security, travel.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe it's just the right time for him. He mentioned to me that he's really keen to settle down at a club and find a bit of a home. So hopefully he can do that with us because, happy players usually are successful ones. So
Yeah.
he was one of the ones that I'm looking forward to seeing off the back of the conversations I've had with him. Willoughby we'll talk about, and then for me, I'm really looking forward to seeing Jordan Tunnicliffe back.
Yes,
He's
of
my kind of centre
course.
back.
Yeah, yeah.
Real Rolls Royce last time in a team that got a little bit of heat from a few fans because we struggled away from home. But at Agborough, him and Keith Lowe and all the other players we had that season, Crowsdale, etc., McQuilkin, they put on a real high value product at Agbra that season. I know we failed at the end, but Danny Rose scored a million goals in the league that season, so it was one of those freak scenarios. But Tunnicliffe was at the heart of that almost at the start of his career, so looking forward to seeing how he's developed as a footballer and welcoming him back. And then it's got to be Adigan. I think I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing lots of the players, but Adigan I think just looks a really exciting baller with that real Football League potential and swagger about him. And then, let's see what the two lads in central midfield, Jack Clark and Luke Spokes, have got because I've heard good things about them. So ultimately, looking forward to seeing all the lads really. But yeah, I'd say those three or four are my pick outs.
Yeah, I
The
wonder. Yeah, sorry, Dan. Go
sorry,
on.
Wes. The talking about Mooney, the I don't know if we're going to speak about the Swansea game at some point, but the one of the reports came out as he smashed a 20-yard free kick heading towards the top corner that was unfortunately tipped around the post. But it'd be nice to think that we've got a free kick specialist in the squad as well, someone who can, have a good dig at goal from sort of 20, 25 yards out.
I think there's going to be a few in that team.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
think Adigan takes free kicks. Obviously, we've got Seb Thompson if he's in and about. I've
yeah.
seen a couple of goals where Willoughby scored direct from free kicks, and obviously you mentioned Mooney there, so maybe be nice, wouldn't it?
Hmm.
Do you think Adam will give Adigan just like a almost a free role in midfield? Do you think he'll be like, listen, just go, just if you get the ball, just go and see what happens? Do you think he'll do that or not so much?
Um, he's talked a couple of times in his interviews, hasn't he, about a lot of work on the training field with about details. So that would suggest maybe it's going to be a real structured sort of setup. But of
Mm.
course, within that structure might mean that there's one player that can go and do as they need to be box to box or just a free roll in your words. So I'd
Yeah,
like to see that. I always thought Zach Brown could have been that player for us and never got the opportunity because he ran around constantly and managers liked that and
he
wanted
just
that
loved
and that's why
running.
he played. He was a big runner.
Hmm.
But I think a free roll for someone, like Adigan would be exciting because it looks like he's able to create. He's got quite a few assists, and in the highlight reels that I've seen, he looks that sort of player that can break through the lines. So yeah, that'd be exciting. Let's see. I'm looking forward to a few friendlies just to see what he's like in the flesh.
Right, okay. How's the goalkeeping kit, Dan?
It's nice, It's weirdly sort of tight and tailored around the arms. It's a nice kit. I've just played in it. Um,
Oh, nice.
Three went past me this evening, unfortunately. So I don't. Hopefully, that's not an omen for the season. But I think that's more my disability than anything else. But no, it's a lovely fit, and the colour's great. And we were worried about the badge, but actually, I strangely like the badge. It's not like embroidered or anything, but it sits just sort of proud of the kit, and I'm a fan. I like it.
Nick, you're
Have
wearing
to,
the new away top. Tell me about that
yeah,
first.
have to agree really. So I struggle to pronounce the name. I think it's Scimitar or Scimitar.
Scimitar, I
I,
think, I
I'm
believe.
I'm I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's the best selection. Now, I appreciate we've had two goalkeeper kits that we never have, so that's the caveat. But
Yep.
I would say it's the best overall collection of design shirts we've ever had. As a combination of all four, I think there's not a single bad shirt. I like Dan's goalkeeper shirt there. The
Yeah.
pink one, which my daughter's got, but I haven't got it to hand, is stunning. The kit, the feel of the kit's good. It's lightweight. It fits really well. I don't know, and I think it was a good selection of manufacturer because I think I mentioned last week, Scimitar don't have a you know heritage in making football kits. They do a lot of
No,
running, rugby,
true.
other
Yeah.
other bits and pieces. And ultimately, they're in the shop window. They've put themselves in the shop window now to maybe go in other contracts at other football clubs, bigger
Yeah.
clubs, and drive their revenue forward. And I think we've benefited from that with bespoke designs that we wouldn't have got had we have just said to Adidas or Kappa, maybe Kappa's a bad example, Nike.
Yeah.
What we would have got something off the shelf. So yeah, I think it's been great for us. The feedback's been amazing. I mean, I'm not sure I've ever known a time where the Harriers have emailed to say we're selling so many shirts. Basically, come and
Yeah.
get them, or they're going to sell out.
Yeah.
They've also got loads of sizes, loads of variety, so they've stocked it really well. It's out before the first game of the season. And again, if you look over the last few years, it's at times felt a little bit disorganised, shall we say, to be polite.
Yes.
And I think Scimitar have nailed it. I think the Harriers have nailed it, and good business.
Okay. So I'll tell you how I feel about it. Right. Okay. So the black away kit, we have waited and waited and waited 20 odd years for another black away kit, right? And the last black one was amazing. Was it Lecoq Sportif? I think it
Mm.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So the black one worked so well with the red, didn't it? It worked so well with the red. So I would have loved to have seen a bit of red in that shirt that you're wearing there, Nick. Also, you can't, I don't believe you can give a football shirt 10 out of 10 if it doesn't have an actual proper badge on it.
But you're talking about something that you've not seen in real life. You've not felt it. You've not worn it. I mean, you're going back to 1994 to have a Stitch badge. I mean, it's like, where do you want to go with it?
I just want a badge. Just want. Do you know
Just want
what?
a badge.
Actually, I don't
There
have
might
to.
still be a seamstress in Kiddie, mate, that can stitch you one on. We'll get you one printed.
Do you know what? I'm pretty certain that the badge is exactly the same as that because they look pretty similar, don't they?
I'm with Dan. It's not actually. I can't really explain it. I'm not good at these things,
Is
but
it
it does
velvety
sort.
touch? Velvety
It
to
sort of,
touch.
yeah, it sort of fits on top
It's
of the.
almost sticky,
Yeah,
the
it is.
touch.
Yeah,
But
It
it's
is almost
proud
sticky
of it's
because it's
proud
cheap.
of the strip. It's not kind of like printed on in the same way as, that
no,
higher
this
shirt
this
you've got
because
behind you.
this bit is built into the shirt,
Yeah, that's built into the shirt, that side. But the Kiddie
as is the
Harriers
sponsor.
badge, I like it. I think it's a great kit. I'm very,
Wes,
very.
wait till you've tried it on. Wait till you've seen it. You felt the touch. You felt the buzz. You felt the vibe. And
Oh,
then look, and ultimately, it fits really nicely on the arms. So
we're vibing.
if
Well,
nothing else, Wes, it's going to make your arms look bigger.
What do you think of the home shirt, Wes?
um, so this is another one because there's no other options really to do a red and white halves, is there? I mean, we've tried it with the jaggy edges a few seasons back and
Yeah.
stuff, and do you know what? It looks nice. I like the black bit in down the middle. I would say out of
Mm.
the two at the moment, I think the red and white one's nicer, the home one, I think, than the black one. Um,
The Sorry, Wes, the home one. My mate's got it, and
yeah,
it's got the Harriers logo sort of embossed into the white bit. I can't really explain it, but it's like the outline of the badge is in the white section. It looks really smart up close. A little bit like the blue away one from last season.
yeah.
It's a bit like that, but it's actually the Harriers logo. It looks really nice, to be fair. I didn't go for the home one. I might get it at some point, but no, I have seen it, and the design's really smart up close in real life. Nice bit of detail on that one.
I also want to put on record and say thank you to the club for getting the shirts out so early before the
Yeah.
season because do you remember a few seasons back you talk about that, Nick, when it's literally like, oh, the shirts will be in October. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
I know, and the problem with that is that's okay if you're top of the league or second in the league. You might get away with it, although it's not ideal. You've still
Yeah.
lost out on a lot of revenue. But if you're languishing in mid-table or lower mid-table and we're terrible at home or whatever, then
Yeah.
regardless of how nice the design of the shirt is, ultimately a lot of it is purchased on design, quality, but also hope.
Yeah.
If you've got no hope after like
Killed
3
you.
months of the season, that revenue is going straight in the bin. Certainly heavily reduced. So yeah, I think it's been much smoother this time, but I think a lot of that is down to the fact we've chosen local. They've got something to prove in this space, in the football
Yeah.
space, and
Oh, there's my
they've
dog.
done well.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like there's a level of organisation around the club this year that just hasn't been there? I mean, last season was good, but the season before felt disorganised. Certainly with the shirts, the issue with the shirts, and
Was that the
you know,
National League season, Dan, you're referring to?
say again,
Was that the
the
season we were
National League
actually in the
season.
National
Yeah,
League?
yeah.
Yeah, I think we were just fully in shock. I just think the way that the season ended, the fact that we'd actually got into the National League, the fact that
Mm,
no one could have planned for that. Russ Penn went on record, didn't he, and said effectively, I've met with the chairman, Richard, and we planned out, budgeted for the National League North.
yeah,
So from a business, even just on a footballing level, but also a business level, when plans are in place, it's really difficult to then unstitch those and go again, especially when Richard's never operated at the National League level. Neither had Russ Penn in a managerial position. So I think we were all over the place because of the nature of how we got there in the first place. Even with the signings, the squad, I mean, we've gone over this before, but it was
yeah,
just, you look at it and go, wow, this season's squad looks much better. Last
yeah.
season's squad looks much better at the level below. So yeah, I think we were just all over the place that season because of what we'd achieved in a bizarre way.
Yeah, but I feel like this year there is a level of professionalism about the club, and I don't think it's anything to do with sort of Phil Brown leaving and Murray coming in. I don't think it's anything with that. I think the club just feels like it wants to be in the National League, and I sort of feel like we're gearing up in a way that's, I
Mm.
guess, aiming for that. It's easy, isn't it, to say, well, we're a National League North club, and if we get into the National League, that's great, but this is the level we're at. Whereas I feel like certainly the over the last two seasons and definitely the beginning of this season. Sorry, let me say that again. So certainly last season and the beginning of this season, I feel like the club is really stepping up its game from a I want to say corporate level or from a sort of a business level. I feel like there's a level of professionalism now that I just haven't felt, other than perhaps a bit last season, but certainly not the season before for the reasons you said, Nick. But I just feel like the club is saying to themselves, we need to be National League. We are good enough to be National League. We're a big enough club to be National League. We start thinking National League and acting like we're National League, we're going to
We
find
also know
ourselves.
we also know what it need what it takes to be a National League club now. I
Yeah.
think I don't know about you guys, but I remember seeing the first few games of the season, the goalkeepers especially. I know I'm going off subject from the back of house to the on-field stuff, but the goalkeepers were just a completely different level in the National
Mm.
League to the National League North. And it was quite quickly apparent early on that the difference between National League North and South and the National League, I thought was fairly significant. And hopefully that's on the pitch, but also probably off the pitch too. And you'd like to think that in the background, Richard and the board of directors, etc., have kind of understood what's needed. You'd like to think we've learned from that experience,
Yeah.
albeit a negative one, of what we need to be on the pitch, firstly to
Mhm.
get there, but then also stay there. And then also back of house, what we need to do in terms of putting a framework in place to be able to grow if we were to get there. I think that's the difference this time. I think if we do, if and when eventually, hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, we do get promoted into the National League, we've got a group of people that understand on and off the field what's needed to at least sustain that position. None of us thought we were going to go down, but even as a fan, I was kind of shocked at the difference in levels.
Mm.
So yeah,
We hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Let's have a word from our sponsors. This is Mr. Energy. If energy is causing you a problem and costing you too much, which it is for everyone, why not contact Mr. Energy on X? It's brilliant. He can sort out your energy bills, your broadband bills, your mobile phone bills, your home insurance. He can sort it all out, and the more he sorts out for you, the more you save. Or if you run a company that uses energy, why not speak to him as well, because he can save you a fortune on your electricity or your gas as well. So Mr. Energy on X.
Just what you're talking about then, Nick. I honestly believe, though, in the National League, if we'd have had Phil Brown from the very beginning and not Russ Penn, I think we'd have stayed up in the National League.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mm.
yeah, I don't disagree, but I also think Phil Brown added an element of extra professionalism around the club as well. Brought in a massive backroom staff, which we don't have now.
No.
But again, we've almost gone to the opposite. We've gone on a smaller structure again with just Adam, Dean, and the guys there and the coaching staff. But I do think that's one thing that Phil obviously decided was his thing. He wanted to make sure we operated like a professional outfit, and he did a really good job of that, I thought. But ultimately, he came in probably 4 to 6 weeks too late with a squad that was never quite good enough. And he came close, but I think every manager possible that we'd have brought in would have really struggled in that scenario with that squad. I think he did pretty well to make it competitive and drag it out as long as he did, to be honest with you.
All right. So earlier on this week, we at the third attempt we signed Kurt Willoughby, and here's his stats. Scored 17 for Blackpool, 42 for Clitheroe. That's not hard, I don't think. 18 for FC United Manchester. What else of note? Chester. He got 20 out of 44. Now that's the one you're really looking at it. And then Chester again on loan, 39 appearances and scored 6 goals. But Nick, you were speaking to someone about that. Was it a Chester fan you were chatting to about Kurt?
No, but someone who knows him well, that sort of followed his career. Hopefully someone we might get on this podcast at some stage.
Yeah.
I think, look, some of the very brief information he gave me was that the goal to minute ratio for Kurt Willoughby at this level is very, very high. I think he'd be in the top 2 or 3 goal scorers. I think, I can't say I've seen loads and loads of Kurt Willoughby. I saw him obviously play against us a couple of times. He always looked a bit of a threat. Of course, Dibble kept out his penalty in the playoff game, but he is the only player in the squad who has scored 20 plus goals as a centre forward in the current squad. Something up until when Hemo scored last season, his went on his crazy run. No one else has done before. So you look at that and think, okay, it was a couple of seasons ago, but it was at the level in the National League North. So I think, look, if we get the striker of a couple of years ago and we can play him in a centre forward position, I think there's been times where he's played out of position over the last 12 months at Chester. And then in the National League, like we've just explained, it's a completely different level. So, it might just been a little bit too much for him at National League playing up front, but in the National League North, he was being played out of position last season. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think it always leaves a bitter taste when players have turned you down when we've tried to get them in the past for clubs at the same level. But I'll go back to what I said at the start of the chat tonight. He's a human being with reasons that, are sort of down to him, aren't they? Why he's not been able to come to us. So now he obviously feels it's the right time in his career to come to us. And again, what I'd like to do a little bit of prep for these. I had a little look at the squad forwards, if you like. Last season, AMS, I'm going to put Hemmings in just because of the goals, but it's debatable whether he was a centre forward, but we'll put him in there. Yeah. Beresford, and I've gone Kobe Hall as the sort of main four that we had. If you look at it this season, going into the new season, you've got Amari, you've got Willoughby, who has, like I said, scored 20 plus goals at this level. Show Silver, who's historically a Football League centre forward. And then Mooney, who scored, I think, 12 in 36 in the National League, which is the level up. So I think if we said to ourselves, what would you go in with? The first four, the second four? I'm fairly sure it'd be unanimous with what we would go with. So on that basis, we've got some depth, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like what sorry, there's flies everywhere. I liked what Adam said to Matt when he was asked. He said, so you're looking to add some more, and then he just simply said, look, if the season starts tomorrow and we don't add any more, then I'm happy with that. And then we went and signed Willoughby, and it was like, okay, maybe he knew that was coming anyway. So, he's quite happy to talk about that. Right, guys, listen, we've got 8 minutes left. I've got a million flies in there. 8 minutes left. Any other business? Dan, do you want to kick this off? You got any other business at all?
I want to talk about tents.
No. No, you don't. Nick, your turn, please. Dan, really?
I mean, I want to know what you guys thought about. I mean, have you seen the footage of the lads putting tents up? And this is a bit contradictory, I guess.
I haven't seen this.
Haven't you seen any of this? Okay, so essentially, it was clearly some team building that was done at this holiday park in.
Oh yeah, of course, I've seen that.
And they're blindfolded trying to put tents up. And even though I'm sort of contradicting myself now, because I said how I feel there's an element of professionalism to the squad. I just felt that I didn't like it. I'll be honest. I felt that, it you can imagine us going to away games with away fans seeing, the fact that part of the pre-season training was our lads trying to stick up tents. I just sort of felt like, I don't know. I get the premise and I understand why we're doing these things. And I think it probably was a very good team building exercise. I don't think I'd have put that on social media, if I'm honest. I think I'd have stuck to the football and stuck to, the training. But that's my opinion. And that's how I felt about that.
I'm going to disagree completely because at one point, Show was trying to do it. And then he was like, other teams have gone to Spain.
Yeah.
Adam was like, no, we're in Bewdley, pal. Crack on.
Yeah.
Right, my other business before we head to Nick is just that I'm wearing the England top today because England ladies are playing and hopefully they're going to smash Wales about 7-0. That'd be really good. And we'll let Wales score another goal. That'd be amazing. And I don't think I've got anything else to say other than jury's out on the away kit for me. Right, Nick, you, mate, go. Fill us full of love for 6 minutes.
Okay, so going back to your thing, Dan, around the tent thing, I think it's Gareth Southgate. I think Gareth Southgate did something similar with the men's England squad. I think something a little bit more next level. I think he put them with sort of the army or something of that nature. It's just that team building, take them out of their comfort zone, and I guess it's trying to create that team spirit, isn't it? That maybe training every day with the balls and running around might just be kind of standard, so they use that as a reason to try and take them out of their comfort zone. It looked fun. The lads look like they enjoy it. But yeah, take your point on board. Couple of any other business from me. I think I saw the other day the average age. I was thinking about this the other day. So if you look at last season's squad, much more of a senior group of players.
Yeah,
I like the fact, again, talking about project and Adam Murray having this sort of belief system of how his teams want to play. he's lowered the average age by a couple of years, I'd say, something like that. Don't know the exact detail, but they're definitely a younger group, which you'd like to think means that more front foot will probably run more, be more aggressive in the press. So I think you can already start to see, even though we've not played a game yet, I'm quite enjoying the fact he talked about profiles of players.
Yeah.
You can definitely see that already. So that's exciting. I think we've got a new left back on trial this week as well. So yeah, that might be one that hopefully plays out over the next 5 or 6 days, and something we can talk about next week in terms of another signing. I assume that will be cover and squad depth, but that would be great if we can bring in another player, because I do really like the look of the depth of the squad. It looks a really National League North level squad that's built to try and win this division. And I don't think we've had one of those. And last season was there or thereabouts, but really feels this season like we know what we want. We've gone after it. We've got it.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Early
really.
doors
And I
as
think,
well.
yeah, but we look settled. Forward
Yeah.
haven't done the type of business they normally do. Macclesfield have lost 3 of their star players because Savage has
And
gone.
manager, yeah.
They followed. Yeah, they followed him to Forest Green. So I think on that side of things, it looks pretty good. I think Buxton look a threat. Is it Buxton, Curzon?
King's
My mind's
Lynn.
gone. Kings Lynn as well.
Buxton,
Yeah, some good signings from those guys. But some of the kind of ones you'd normally, the established names, kind of don't seem to be doing as much business as you'd expect. Andy Carroll joining Dagenham to partner Hemo up front.
Mental. It's mental, isn't that? Absolutely mental.
I think that's a bit of a crazy one. Comments in the below, how many games do you think Andy Carroll will successfully see out for Dagenham given his injury record?
Oh, and also, what would saying that? Sorry, Nick. Nick said he'd bet someone that Alex Penny wouldn't last. Was it 15 games? You said, or was it 12?
That is not verbatim. I did not take any bets on how many games Alex Penny will play. I would love to see Alex Penny make the season because he's a fantastic athlete and player. But history would suggest, we'll have to look after him. Murray's mentioned that in his interviews that we need to manage Alex, and hopefully we do, because he's a fantastic asset to us if we can do that. And then the last thing was Jake Table. I think the guy that was scoring 1,001 goals in the lower leagues, I think a few divisions below Harriers. I think he'd scored. He's gone to Swindon and he's bagged 3 in his first 2. I look at that and think, I wonder, because he's mentioned in interviews that National League North, South and National League clubs have been looking at him. He has been scoring goals for many years to the level that he scored last season. So I wonder, it'd be interesting to know if anybody out there knows, did we go after him at any point? Did we inquire? Are we one of the clubs that tried to get him? That would be interesting to know, because he looks a real exciting talent. He's gone League 2 now. He's obviously held out, but would have been interesting to know maybe 18 months ago, was he on our radar in any capacity? And that's it for me. Come on, the Lionesses tonight.
Come on, girls, come on. Right. Also, I was going to say, friendlies start from next week. I can't make Tuesday because I'm working, unfortunately, at Droitwich. Might try and get Shrewsbury, but might have people around, so I don't know. But friendlies, quick, just, are you going to any of them? Dan, you said about Worcester.
Yeah, definitely go to Worcester. I was going to try and get to Droitwich. I think work is going to get in the way of that, unfortunately. So probably not, but I'll definitely be at Worcester. Not sure about the others as yet. But yeah, if anyone's there at Worcester, put it in the comments and come say hello.
Do you know what, Dan? When we finally get Adam on, right? I can't wait. My first question now is going to be, Adam, Dan said taking the boys to do blindfold tent making was absolute rubbish, and then he'll probably just switch off, shut the laptop down, be like, "No, I'm not doing this anymore." Yeah, so thanks, Dan. Thanks.
Staring each other out. Yeah,
yeah, I know, man. So we got 3 more Sundays left before the season starts.
Crazy that, yeah. Crazy that.
I kind of feel like we're now in the situation where it's so close, but we've got some rubbish games to get through first, and then we're there, and then it's happening. So thank you very much, boys, for tonight. Really appreciate that. Great to chat. So, as always, please leave your comments below. We love reading out your comments and stuff. So thank you so much. Cheers, guys. Have a great week. I'll see you on Sunday. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
And that's your lot. Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast. We do it for you guys. We love it. It's our Sunday sanctuary, if you will. There are a couple of ways
extra ways you can help us out, why not check out our Facebook group? It is Harriers Hotline. Go add yourself there if you're a fan. And also check out all the videos we've done. We're on the 10th one so far in 2 months. That's pretty impressive. So if you could do that, if you could comment, like, and share with your friends as well, that would be amazing. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time on the Kidderminster Harriers Fans Podcast. Thank you.